This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. From streaming to shopping, Prime helps you get more out of your passions. So whether you're a fan of true crime or prefer a nail-biting novel from time to time, with services like Prime Video, Amazon Music, and fast free delivery, Prime makes it easy to get more out of whatever you're into or getting into. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to learn more.
In case you haven't heard, it's officially in Abercrombie summer. The A&F Vacation Shop has everything on your packing mood board. I desperately need their new one piece, the A&F Marina. It's strapless, so flattering, and paired with denim shorts will be my go-to beach outfit this summer. Finally, your suitcase isn't complete without finding that dress. You know, the one for the photo shoot. Abercrombie's boho dresses have that perfect beachy, romantic look. Make it an Abercrombie summer. Shop their newest arrivals in-store, online, and in the app.
This is Optimal Health Daily, the former Fat Boy Syndrome, Part 1, by Deen of JCDfitness.com, and I'm Dr. Neil. Welcome back to another edition of Optimal Health Daily, or welcome for the first time if you're new here. This is the podcast where I act as your very own personal narrator and read to you from some of the most popular health and fitness blogs online. Now, today's post is on the longer side, so when that happens, I read the first half today, and then I'll finish it up for you tomorrow. Now, in a few moments, I'm going to read to you about JC's story about his struggles with weight. Now, I usually don't weigh myself. I just kind of like to rely on how my clothes are fitting. And so I don't know if I've gained weight recently or what, but one of my buddies came up to me the other day and gave me a belly bump. I don't know if it was my posture, like just the way I was standing at that moment, and I guess it looked like my belly was sticking out or something, but he walked over and said, "Belly bump." Needless to say, I'm now looking a little bit more carefully at how my clothes are fitting. All right, let's hear part 1 of JC's story as we optimize your life. The Former Fat Boy Syndrome, Part 1, by Deen of JCDfitness.com. I must admit, I am an FFB, former fat boy. I'm willing to bet many of the folks listening to this were also FFBs. As an FFB, I know we tend to think our metabolisms are subpar, or we can't build muscle efficiently due to our endomorphic proportions. This is what's known as the FFBS, former fat boy syndrome. I say this is bull honky. Nice attempt at swearing, I know. The sad truth is being a former fat boy may be even worse on the psyche than starting out as a skinny kid. My goal today is to reach out to all the FFBs and offer some encouragement, hope, and a swift kick in the butt. What is a former fat boy? An FFB is what the name implies, someone who used to be fat, or they could still be slightly on the chubby side. Think of the big power lifter who eats a bit too much. This is not a blanket statement, as there are always exceptions, but in my experience, many of the bigger, younger guys in the gym have a history of being part of the FFB club. Then again, I see guys that are still chubby and lack any muscular development whatsoever. I grew up eating bologna and cheese sandwiches, I meant to say that, and this is what turned me into a fat boy. Once I got into athletics, I turned into a husky boy and eventually graduated to an FFB. It was an interesting experience to say the least, and I learned a lot from being the fat kid growing up. Now that we know what an FFB is, let's get into the darker corners of the minds of these unique souls. A mess of mental hangups. Since you're listening, I would argue that you're likely interested in changing your body composition for the better, or maybe you're here for some lame humor. You are likely interested in looking great naked and thus being proud of what you have accomplished aesthetically. One of the biggest issues I face when dealing with clients or when helping out on the forums are FFBs who long for a bigger, stronger, leaner physique, but who are not willing to do what it takes to achieve it. Now, this is not because they are uneducated, stupid, or unwilling. It's because they have this innate fear of returning to their former fatty self. These are usually the guys who have worked really hard on a fat loss diet with lots of cardio for many months to drop a ton of weight. They're so excited about losing the extra fluff and now want to build their physique, but their own fear sabotages them from taking the necessary steps to achieve their lofty goals. They first learn they must eat more and gain weight to build muscle. They are so scared of ballooning up that they end up spinning their wheels for months and years before seeing the light, or just giving up altogether. The dreadful origins. An FFB gets on a popular bodybuilding forum, spends lots of time lurking, and learning the fundamentals of building a killer physique. He is equipped with more than enough knowledge to propel him for the time being. He knows he must train sensibly. He even picked up a copy of Starting Strength. He has taken his time to learn about how important adequate protein intake is and ensures he is eating a healthy dose of fruits and veggies daily. He has mapped out his plan and proceeds to track his progress along the way. His plan is bulletproof, and he cannot wait to start. The first few weeks are underway, and he's getting a feel for the movements. He starts to develop a love-hate relationship with delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS, and is enjoying the consistent strength gains. He is reluctant to meet his caloric goals daily because he knows eating over maintenance will cause weight gain, but he is committed to remain faithful to his goals. After the fourth week has passed, he is up about 5 to 6 pounds, and he is bloated from an outing with friends the night before. He decided to drink a few beers and have some bar food high in sodium, which is possibly responsible for the bloat. He hates what he sees in the mirror that morning, and he starts to really second-guess his previous week's efforts. He has this dreaded fear of becoming who he used to be. Later that day, a decision is made to go on a short diet, consisting of only 2 weeks max, and then he'll go back to his regular training and overfeeding. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled, The Former Fat Boy Syndrome by Deen of JCDfitness.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary.
Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength.
Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all in one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it filters out incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster, and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. Dr. Neal here for my commentary. It always amazes me how our experiences when we were children and adolescents so influence our later behaviors and how we see ourselves as adults. There's a reason for that. It's called growing up for a reason. There's rapid growth that's occurring. And this not only occurs in our physicality, but in our brains as well. And so that means when we're children and adolescents, experiences can have an imprint in our brains that we then carry as adults. And so I can't tell you how many times I've worked with clients or patients who, even after they lose their weight, they see themselves as chubby or fluffy or whatever you want to call it. Everyone else sees their progress, but for some reason, they can't. When they look in a mirror, they always see their old selves staring back at them. And so as JC shares his story, it's not all that uncommon. What he's experiencing happens to quite a few folks, actually. But let's see how he overcame it. Hear that on tomorrow's episode. All right, that's enough out of me for today. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thank you as always for listening. I'll be back here tomorrow to finish up this post, so I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.